Hello everyone, today let's have a look on HTMX. You might have seen my stream the other day that I did, where I only looked at it, but let's dive in. So what they write about themselves is HTMX is a small dependency-free extendable library that you can choose. And their motivation why they did library is why only these two HTML elements, links and forms should be able to make HTTP requests, why only for certain events, or why only with certain HTTP methods. And in their quick start, they basically write, okay, you first have to inject their library into your HTML. And then basically here in this example, they use a button. And then you can see this kind of HX prefixed attributes on the HTML elements. And these are basically the attributes that HTMX provides. And there are a bunch of them you can see on their website that I will link down below the video. And what is basically happening here? So what they say is whenever a user clicks on this button, please make a post request against this API endpoint /clicked. And whatever is returned by the API that you have to build in your project in the language, the backend language of your choice, like Python, Golang, and so on, swap the outer HTML of this element. So basically swap the whole button by what the API returns. So let's look at an example. I'm currently learning Go, so please bear with me if my Go code is not optimal. But basically I have a Go server that is serving this HTML file that is basically containing the same what you have just seen, plus some styling, but let's don't waste our time on this. And the Go server is basically very simple, and also here, bear with me, I'm pretty sure that there are better ways of writing Go HTTP servers. But the main idea is that besides serving the HTML file, there are two API endpoints. The first one is clicked. That is the one that is also referenced in the HTML file. So here we say whenever this button is clicked, do an API call against this clicked endpoint. And then basically the API server, the API request returns again a button, an HTML basically fundamentally a button, and also containing again HTMX attributes. Also this you can do. You can return again HTML that contains HTMX. And here we say, okay, do again a post request, but here against another endpoint called clicked again, which is the second endpoint you can see down below. And basically what this endpoint returns is again a button, but without any HTMX related attributes, just saying you did it. So let's look at how this looks in the browser. Let's run the server, show it to you. So basically that's the button saying click me. Looking at the HTML, you can see clearly the button with the attributes hx post to the endpoint /clicked, and with the saying that we should swap the outer HTML of this element when the button is clicked or when the API returns the data. So let's see, when I click the button now, you see something happened. The button has changed. The button also changed the color, which I come back to you in a few minutes. And when we look at the network panel, you see we did an post request against the mentioned endpoint /clicked, and we responded with this data, with this HTML I just showed to you, again with a button with this class do it, and then with again what you also see in the elements panel here, obviously, hx post saying clicked again. So that's the next endpoint that will be triggered. Why this color change? Well, it's very obvious that this do it class name basically has a color and a transition. And you might also have seen that when I do this again, that this transition is also used, and that's also a feature of HTMX that it supports CSS transitions from elements that don't have a transition to elements that have a transition. So this button here, as you can see in the style, has no transition defined whatsoever. But when I click it and it's swapped, it's already doing the transition the new element has. So, well, that's a side note. I don't think it's the super important stuff here, but that might be helpful. And let's clear the network. And when we click again on this button here, we get another button saying you did it. And obviously we did another post request against this new endpoint with this final button saying you did it. And that's basically all that belongs to this demo. Bear with me with the colors here, not very accessible, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful. If you want to follow me also on Twitch when I do live streaming and I learn Go or HTMX, let me know. You find all the links down below in the video description. Yeah, and that's it for today. Bye bye.